All righty. Okay, so I'll run through it like I did last time, and then if we can do questions at the end as we have time.
All right, sounds good.
Because as soon as I go into present mode, I can't see anybody, so. All right, so the link.
Our microphone's on and yell if you get dropped.
Okay, thanks. So the link for the session is at the bottom there. And the idea behind Google Keep is to get rid of all those stickies and just kind of help us coordinate and organize ourselves. And one thing, my favorite thing about it is that it kind of appears in more than one place. So digital stickies are within other products. Whoops, no, I didn't want to click, I just want to highlight. So you've got the basic in the center here, it's its own app. And that's available in your 9 Square. So it's its own complete app, but it's all synced everywhere else, just like Google. We love how they work together. So when you're in Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Sheets, you've got this little menu coming down the right-hand side of your page, and you've got access to your Google Keep right there. So if you have comments you use over and over again, Bitmoji stickers, you can put them into your Google Keep, and then they're easy to just copy and paste and drag into your stuff when you're working. You also have the device. So whether you're Android or Mac, Apple, you have the app that goes with it, and all of them stay synced together. It's beautiful. So as a web page, just a couple of things to notice, that when you're on the Google Keep, the web page, the app, if you click on the hamburger, the menu will drop down and shrink so that you get rid of the words of what can happen, which just gives you more real estate. So you can create just a plain old note, reminders. You can create labels if you like to sort things. You don't need that anymore, just archive it, the same way we can archive emails or trash it completely. So basically, to create one, you're going to just click somewhere in the take a note. You're going to start there. If you want a checklist note, you can click this, and it'll automatically start like creating the little boxes that you can check off. If you want a drawing, you can do that. You want to take a picture and make that a Google Note, you can click this, and it'll automatically open your camera, and the note pop that picture into the Google Keep. Up here, just a couple things to just so you know about them. This is literally if you want to see your Google Keep notes in a list view versus the grid view that I'm showing here. And then, of course, you've got your settings gear, which will go through those settings. And this is available through your 9 Square. As you'll usually have to scroll down a little bit. Once you use it more, it seems to move itself up in your list, but when you first start using it, you have to scroll down. You can also just type keep.google.com if you're a typer versus a clicker. And basically, if you don't know this already, where they have keep here, you can almost always, in almost all of Google's tools, take whatever it is you want and put it in front of .google.com. So slides.google.com. sheets.google.com, docs.google.com. They pretty much all work, calendar.google.com. And so I tend to be a typer, and so I tend to just start typing. And of course, once you've been there before, it comes up faster, hit return, and you're there. Last thing on here I want to show you before we move to the next version of it is if you share a note with another person, you see their image or letter down at the bottom, so you can share Google Keep notes, which is really handy. Moving on to the next one is your settings, just taking a look at what you can change. So where do you want new items to show up, top or bottom? If you check one off, where do you want it to go? Do you want it to go to the bottom or stay where it is in the list? And I'll give you a great example of this. It's my favorite. Well, okay, I don't have a spouse, so this whole concept isn't. I love it for my grocery list. Now, if I had a spouse, it would be even better because you can create your grocery list, pull it up on your phone at the store, check things off, as you purchase them. And if you move those check boxes to the bottom, then your list just keeps getting shorter and shorter as you're shopping, which is heaven. And then the next time you're getting ready to go grocery shopping, you pull your phone up, you scroll to the bottom, and you uncheck the stuff you need, and it boots itself back up to the top of the list. Very cool. Now, if you have a spouse, even better, share your grocery list with them. And if you're at home or at work and you think, oh, I forgot to add milk to the list, just go into your phone, uncheck it, and boom, it pops up on the grocery list, which of course your spouse is going to look at when he's shopping after work to bring everything home for you. So you can literally, you could even add stuff while he's at the store. I just think that's brilliant. I wish I had somebody to do it too, but my father's, you know, he's moving in with me, but he's not that too, so not gonna happen. You can have rich link previews if you want, which just means when you hover over a link, it actually shows you where it's going to take you. Dark theme, everybody's into the dark theme right now. Turn it on or off. By default, you get to set your reminder default. So if you create a reminder for a note, you get to pick kind of what these times mean to you. And then you get to decide whether you enable sharing. If you want to do the grocery shopping with the spouse, make sure you enable sharing. Okay. An extra function is on to your, like I was saying before, so when this is a Google Doc or a Google slideshow, just the top right corner of my screen, you'll always see a quick access to your calendar, keep, and your task list. And this is really nice because when you click on one of these, so if I click on Google Keep, the screen kind of, it takes up a little bit of your real estate because it opens, you know, about 2 inches wide. But now I have access to all of my notes right here. And so you can literally pull into the doc or the slideshow that you're working on. So kind of a cool function built in. Lots of features within each note. So we have the remind me. So this is for setting that alarm that we saw in the settings. Add your collaborators if you have that turned on. Change the color. So right now this note is like boring white. So if you want to get creative, you can do that. You can add images. So if you want to take a picture, like, you know, I need to find this size and this kind of part to fix something, take the picture, add the details, the dimensions, whatever, and it's all in one little note when you're out shopping. This is a quick way to archive your files. And then if you click on the 3 dots, you have a whole bunch more choices. So if you want to delete it completely, labels is just a way to quick sorting. I guess if you have enough Google Keeps, you might want to be labeling stuff and sorting it. Add drawings to them. You can even make a copy and then adjust the second one, maybe change the color, the to-do list for one child versus another, for work versus home, and then change the color, that kind of thing. Show check boxes. Now, this one's really cool. Copy to a Google Doc. So if you start something in a note and then it starts to become too long to be like a sticky, you know how with us with our stickies, sometimes we get really bad because you've got like 20 stickies all stuck together because they really should have been on a piece of paper and not a sticky. This lets you go, okay, this is too long, turn this into a Google Doc. Now, there is a maximum number of characters you can put in a Google Note. I don't know what the characters are, but when you hit it, it'll actually force you to turn it into a Google Doc. So that's kind of a neat feature as well. In your phone app, this is just a screenshot from my phone app, so you're looking at my work to-do list. You can access quickly and very, very easily at the top right. It doesn't show up in my screenshot here because I scrolled down a little bit. Your image for your account. And if you tap there, you can switch between like my work account, my personal account, my dad's account, because I put stuff on his list because I thought maybe, you know, that he would be able to use it, but we're not there yet. So easy switching between accounts. You can edit in here. You can actually create. And one of the coolest features about the phone app versus the other 2 places is you actually can create voice notes, which you can't do on the website version or the side version for other docs. So you can literally create voice notes in here. And then you can download them as MP3s in your drive. Cool tip. If you pin a Google Keep, it will always stay at the top of the list. So if you have 5 pinned, your most 5 important, they will remain at the top and all your other Keep notes will be below that. So you'll see once you pin something that you have a pinned section and then all the others just go below. You can create those checklists. Here's my grocery example. Woohoo! Love that one. I so wish I had those to like add things to just for fun. They just within the last week or 2 added an indent feature. So you can now either literally just click on the 6 dots and drag it over to indent stuff, or if you're into shortcuts, you can command and close bracket the square kind. If you need to rearrange your notes, you click on the 6 dots and just drag and drop, and then you can put things in order if you have a specific order to whatever note you're creating.
This would be useful to have the links to everything that I open first thing in the morning in my classroom, especially if we end up traveling around and the kids stay in one spot.
Yeah,
Open the email and have the Keep with your everything that you open right away.
that would be brilliant.
Yeah, that would be fast. I'm doing that.
Yeah. Remind me at the end when we're doing questions to show you another tool that would be maybe helpful for you for that. Okay, so then we can move on to making it pretty. So far I've just kind of made them boring and showed you the boring ones. But you can also use the little palette and you can create the colors. They are limited. This is all you can do. You can't do no more colors, but well, that was great grammar. Changing the colors does kind of tweak up your screen and make it look nicer. Or you can get really fancy and you can create these image headers that make it so that when you look at your screen, you can easily see what they are without having to read the actual name of the note. Just kind of and I will be putting in, and that's why this little sticky's popping up, I'm going to put in a link to a Google slideshow that has a bunch of these headers already created, and you can replace them with your Bitmojis. Yes, Rhonda. And you put your Bitmojis in there, and then you just download each slide as a JPEG, and then you just insert them into your different screens. And I can show you a better picture of my account after. Getting creative. Actually, no, I added this slide after because I thought it was fun. This is where I'll put that link for that slideshow. A couple challenges for you, and I might add a few more to this page as well. These are links to, let's see if it'll stay and go, to Google challenges that you can use with your students that are already created. So this is one that Leah and I tweaked from the To Learn group that they had created it as a base, and we've tweaked it and kind of made it our own. The other one was not created by me. The gentleman's name's on the bottom, but it's just another one that you could take. This is using the HyperDoc concept. This is one of their templates. And you could tweak this to your students and give this to them as a challenge for them learning how to use Google Keep, depending on their age. Can be really useful tool to get them going on that. And that's it. So again, there's the link. And like I said, I will be adding a few more, tweaking it. Just, you know, I'm always thinking of what's next and what I can do. Share other things with you. I'm going to stop sharing for a second, just so I can see you ladies. Did you have any questions for my fly-through version of Google Keep?
Can you put screenshots in as a Keep?
Yes.
How would you do that?
So you would take this screenshot and then just upload it as an image. So on, let me just go to my Google Keep. So I'm just going to present my screen.
I think I know how to do that with taking the screenshot separately, but I did a PD last week that was through GoToMeeting, but it was a separate, similar platform for big sessions. And they had a button that on every screen where you could click it and it would add the screenshot into, I thought it was Google Keep, but it might have been something else. So anytime one of their slides would come up with useful information, you could just click it and it would save it for you.
Well, if you're using your tablet or your phone, you can, because on your tablet and your phone, you have the ability to just click this little add image icon. I don't know if you can see where I'm at.
Yeah.
And when you click that add image, if you're right now, because I'm on a computer, I don't know if you're seeing that, but it popped up my desktop view. So I can go find the picture. But if you're on the phone, it takes you to your Photos app. So you could literally, like you could snap the screenshot and then grab it.
Right.
You might even be able to click it and have it pull in what's on the screen at that moment.
Okay.
But I know it is easier on the tablet and stuff to add the images, because on the computer you have to have downloaded it. So.
And sometimes by the time you realize you want to keep whatever links they're sharing, they've moved on. So it was nice to have that very fast option to do it.
Yeah, just touch and it was there.
Yeah.
Are you a Mac or PC user?
PC.
So PC, if you have a full PC keyboard, you could hit the print, what's that one
Print
called?
screen.
Print.
Control print screen.
Yeah.
Print screen, and it would grab it.
Yeah.
But that's about as quick as you can get on a PC.
Right.
On a Mac, you hit Command 3 and it takes the screenshot. So here's an example. Can you see my Google Keep? Okay, ignore all my lists. But so these are those. So this is our tech to-do list. This was our Fan Tech Tip Fridays list of ones we wanted to send out. Projects we work on every year. My must-do list, the one you never want to get to. Oh, my computer. Oh, I thought it was going to crash again. Our mileage chart for how to rebuild a Chromebook. So I just created all of these as Google Slides, and that's that template I'll give you, and you just tweak it to what you want. I can show you. I'll just show you on my screen. I pop back here. So on my phone, I just keep the app on my front page. So I'll see if I can hold it so you can see it. See my image on the top right corner?
Yep.
That's my work picture of me. So if I click on it and I go to my personal one, so it just lists all my accounts the way most apps do in Google. And then if I hit my personal account, it reloads with all my little Bitmojis for my personal account. And it just makes it easier to find. Like you'll see when I share the template with you, what I did was created them so that the word that was the most important was the biggest and the brightest. So on my to-do list, the word mine is bigger. On Dad's to-do list of things I need him to do, the word dad's is biggest. So that way, when I look at it, I don't have to read everything to be able to know which list is the kind of most important. So here, if we look, I've got my packing. I've got talk about.
Things to remember or something like that? Yeah, things to remember. That's a good idea.
Yeah, things to remember, right? And so it just kind of really helps to make, so you can see my and Dad's are the biggest. And then acreage is the biggest. So when I'm at Dad's acreage, I look at it and it's like, okay, what was I supposed to do when I got here? And so if you kind of tweak those, it's much easier for you when you're looking at stuff. I love your idea of the links. Oh, and that other one. Okay, this is, I only have it on my personal account. It is, let me just find my personal account here so I can get you what it's called. It's an extension that you might want to try out. And it is called, what is this called again? Toby, Toby.
Okay.
Now, when you go to Toby, I'm just going to present so I can show you Toby. What Toby does, and why I like Toby, I use it on my personal account because it's kind of more applicable there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So in Toby, it lets me basically bookmark. So it's kind of like my bookmark bar at the top, but it lets me bookmark in chunks. So the tabs I tend to use the most are my everyday tabs. Then there's my finance tabs. Then there's my shopping online tab. So all of these tabs are kind of in chunks. But what's really neat is if you did have like the morning tabs, if you had the math tabs, if you had the LA tabs, whatever it is, the French tabs. When you come over here, there's a little open however many. So there's 8 in my shopping. And if I click this once, it's going to open all 8 tabs for me. If I click this once, it's going to open all 5 of my finance tabs for me. And so it's just a nice quick way to open and to get at. So I use this more now than I use my bookmark bar at the top in my personal account.
That's cool. That would be really helpful if we're traveling from class to class, for sure.
Right. And then the other thing that I like in here with Toby is you can share them. So if I say I want to share them, I can actually share this collection with you. And then you wouldn't have to recreate it. You could just pull it into your account. And you'd have the links to all of those.
And how do you get to it, Memories? Do you just, is there just like a icon, just like a normal extension?
Actually, it's you go to the Chrome Web Store and load Toby, and what happens is Toby becomes, and this is what another reason why I don't use it at work, because when I'm demoing stuff and I click New Tab, I want that Google screen to come up. But with Toby, this comes up instead of the Google search screen.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so it becomes your new tab.
Oh, and you like that?
I love that for my personal.
Oh.
But
Yeah,
when
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
at work with teaching and stuff, I don't want all that stuff to be showing up when I'm teaching students and teachers. So that's why I just use it on my personal account.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then you want their screens to look like your screens, or you want
Right.
your screen to look like their screen, or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
And because we work with under 13-year-old students most of the time, I want them to be seeing that the plain white Google screen is the one they should always have, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
So I just really, I mean, I'm sure I could find some use for it on the work side, but then I'd have to always be turning it on, turning it off, turning it on, turning it off.
Yeah.
The other thing
you want it to come up every single time.
Right. Now, every single time you open a new screen, you get the collection of tabs. Now, one other thing is you can have collections. So on this screen, I have 6 collections. So each of these groups is called a collection, but I can have other collections. So I did start creating an ed tech collection of like, I was going to put grade 1 links there, my professional stuff there, but I just kind of like whenever I'm doing something ed techy, I'm in my work account. So that never really kind of flew, but you could have separate collections. So you could have like classes versus your own personal teachings type stuff and create multiple collections. And it's free. I haven't paid for it. So it's pretty cool. The other thing that's really neat is, you know how sometimes you have, like right now I've got 4 of these 5 tabs. So this is showing me the ones that are open that aren't in a collection.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So if I want, this one is like, oh, this is my newest like banking website. I can literally just click and hold and drag it over and drop it into this collection.
That's cool.
And as soon as I do that, it closes the tab because now it's in collection, so it's easy to get to. Now, that went away. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it's fine. The other thing that's cool is, you know how when you go to like a PD session and sometimes you're like, okay, this tab is the presentation and this tab is one of the links and this tab is some other example and this tab is where they told me to go to find this, and you're like, okay, now you've got 12 tabs done at the end of the session and you're like, oh my God, how do I deal with these? Well, if you just click this button up here that says Save Session, when you click it, it's going to save that session all in one collection, and you can give it a name. You can say like Memories' PD session June of 2020, and all the links that you had opened from that session will now be in one collection on your screen.
That is smart.
This would have been so useful when we started this Learn at Home thing. You could have saved
Totally.
Yeah.
You go through these phases, right? It's like, okay, today I'm learning all about like WeVideo, everything, all the tabs, all the everything. Yeah. Shoot. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
All my classrooms open at once and I keep accidentally closing one that I didn't mean to. It'll be so much easier just to have it. Oh, goodness. That's great. You're so full of useful information.
Yeah. Do you know about Control-Shift-T, Tricia?
Yep.
Okay, just checking. Accidentally closed tabs.
Yes, I'm pretty sure you taught us that in the TENS program when you came and gave us that presentation.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. It's one of the best shortcuts to ever learn. Any other questions?
No, I don't think so.
Awesome.
I know where to find you if I do have a question. So
really,
that helps.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it helps that we're here. I'm very thankful with all the cuts that we get to stay because, you know, I'm sad that they cut Leanne in April, but I'm very, very thankful and blessed that they've kept Leanne and I. So.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be the first time I've said this, but they'd be crazy if they fill in the blank. In this instance, the blank would be cut tech. Because like, when is, you know, like I'm the music teacher, so I'm also, you know, striving for my existence and trying to promote why we need music teachers. But like, if there ever was a time when we needed tech people, it's like now.
Yeah.
Well, you know, when COVID hit and we got shut down, the first week and a half, we worked frantically at central office trying to do whatever we could. And then once like, no, go work from home because there's no office space here unless you're all cramped in a room, and that kind of defeats the purpose of what we're supposed to be doing. So go work from home. And I said to Leah one day when we were talking, I said, COVID is either going to make this position or break this position. Because there's either going to be we need it, or everybody's going to become so tech savvy from COVID that they won't need us anymore.
I don't think that's possible.
We will never be able to keep up with all of this stuff.
No.
Yes.
And like, yeah, you can Google stuff, like, you know, but you guys know the ins and out of Peacewapity. You know what I mean? Like, you guys know the tech side of what, like, I can hack anything, but is it something I'm supposed to be doing for school? I'll ask you guys, you know?
Right.
Like, is it legal? You know? Yeah.
Yeah, I did a PD session.
No, we definitely need you guys.
That came with this huge, expensive, amazing resource, but I still have to wait to see if it will be